Hey everyone, hope you guys are doing good. So I wanted to make one more video talking about the most common question I get from people because I really feel like I need to answer this, just in general. People always send me this message saying I have a 50-gallon tank, I'm getting these type of fish and these type of plants. What filter should I get? What filter would I recommend? That's what they always ask me. And my response is really the same every single time. And I always tell people, you really have to find out what type of filter will work best for you. What type of filter is going to meet your requirements, your needs, Pretty much filters are the same, in general. Most of them out there have all three stages of filtration nowadays: biological, mechanical, chemical, But if you're aiming towards a more biological type filter, of course a wet dry filter will work good because it has a huge biological chamber with all those bioballs for good bacteria to grow on. If you're on limited space, a power filter will work great. Of course, if you have a cabinet underneath your tank, you can't get any type of filter because, a wet dry will fit under there, a canister will. I'm sure a power filter doesn't matter because it hangs on the back of the tank, but if you are in limited space and you do have a cabinet, you can't put anything under there. So for me, I don't have that type of cabinet. I just have this is like a chest or something, and I can't really put anything in it because it only opens from the top, and the top is, of course, inaccessible now. So, as far as the type of filter that'll work best for you, you just have to really think about it, what you're going to do, and how long your tank is going to be around. If your tank's going to be in the same place for a long time, you plan on making it into this permanent home for your fish for a very, very long time, I would say get a wet dry filter because it benefits the aquarium so much, because it has a huge biological chamber for biological filtration. You have a huge area, a surface area for mechanical filtration for the filter pads to trap debris and everything. And to me, that's pretty much 100% bypass also because usually in power filters, the water will come in and go through the filter pad, but not all the time will the water will 100% of the water go through the filter pad. So a lot of debris is still getting through. But with a wet dry filter, you can literally open up your wet dry filter and look inside and see that every single drop of water is going through the filter pad. So every single piece of debris in your water is being filtered out. Another cool thing too about the wet dry filter is that it has an overflow box on the back, and the inlet part of the on the back that hangs on the back, there's a little inlet part, and it should be like a little piece of PVC pipe that sticks in there. I think they call that like a stand pipe or something. It helps to like muffle the noise of water going into the little tube. Most of the time you can buy a bio screen or a bio filter pad or something like that. It's basically a little circular black, or it could be a different color, black filter pad made out of plastic, and it slips over the inlet valve, or inlet valve, the inlet tube of the overflow box. So that also traps good bacteria, and that also creates a biological situation for more good biological filtration. So that's something I like. I just like the wet dry filters because they're so big and everything is so accessible and everything is just so out in the open. You can see everything that's going on, and that's what I like about it. Wet dry filters are really, you can really turn them into anything you want. You can add as much as you want. You can add a media reactor, you can add a UV sterilizer, there's plenty of room for everything. If you have a canister filter, you can do, somewhat of the same things, but then again, everything is just all over the place with a canister filter. With the wet dry filter, you can have it all contained, in your little wet dry area, the box or whatever, your sump, whatever you want to call it. So to me, the best type of filter for any aquarium is a wet dry filter. And people always say they're only meant for saltwater tanks, but honestly that's not true because they're basically the same thing: mechanical, biological, and chemical. You can add the chemical by getting a media reactor. So they're not just for saltwater tanks. So if anybody's ever told you that, don't believe it, because it's not just for saltwater tanks. I have a freshwater tank and this filter has been on there for a long time, and my tank is doing just fine. So, and actually, I didn't even have a media reactor anymore because it broke. So, and it's still doing great. So, the best type of filter I would recommend is a wet dry filter. If you're limited on space, a good canister filter or a power filter will work great. Of course, with the power filter, just make sure that you leave plenty of space in the back of your aquarium for the power filter to, hang on the back wall of your tank, and your tank will do great. But it also depends on how much money you have to spend also. The wet dry filters usually are the most expensive. Canister filters can get pretty pricey too. I've seen some that are upwards of $400. Of course, you don't need something that fancy, but usually those have like internal UV sterilizers, and they have a huge, chamber with bottle balls and everything. So those are really the more pricey ones. But if you get something just standard, that has the filter pad, the biological, chemical, it should be around 100, 200 bucks. The power filters are probably the cheapest because I've seen those at stores like PetSmart for under $10 at one point when they were on sale, of course. But normal pricing, I would say they're around $15. The really, really good ones that have like 2 chambers and 2 inlet valves, those can get up to 50 to possibly 80 bucks. So it just depends on what you want to get. But basically, all filters are the same. They all do the same things, unless, of course, you have a saltwater tank. You will have other types of filtration, things like calcium reactors and things like that. But to me, for those of you that have asked me, the best type of filter I'd recommend is a wet dry filter if you have the money. But if you don't, power filter or canister filter will work perfectly fine.